Tensions rise sharply in Genoa City on Wednesday, January 7, 2026. As power plays, secret schemes, and emotional breakups collide, Michael Baldwin arrives at the Newman ranch, hoping to speak with Victor Newman, but instead finds himself face-to-face with Adam Newman. Adam immediately questions Michael's loyalty to the Newman family and makes it clear he does not trust him. Michael tries to prove his allegiance by showing Adam the Roman coin Victor once gave him, but Adam dismisses the gesture and delivers a chilling warning. If Michael ever betrays the family, Adam promises he will crush him, making it clear that his version of justice is far less forgiving than Victor's. Michael fires back, accusing Adam of behaving like a mob boss. The confrontation shifts when Nikki Newman returns and pulls Michael aside for private conversation. The two confirm they are aligned in their shared goal of saving Victor from his own destructive instincts without pushing him away. Michael floats a bold and dangerous proposal, securing the stolen AI program and framing Cain for misusing it, redirecting Victor's fury towards someone Michael believes deserves it. Nikki finds the idea intriguing and asks Michael to expand on the plan. Meanwhile, at the Abbott mansion, Diane Jenkins Abbott and Jack Abbott continue clashing over Nikki's loyalty to Victor. Their argument is interrupted when Kyle Abbott arrives with explosive information from Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra. Billy has a story ready to publish that allegedly ties Newman Enterprises to illegal activity that led to Arabesque's collapse. Jack refuses to rush forward without airtight proof and reveals he already has an idea about how to secure the evidence needed to make a decisive move. At the GCAC, Cain surprises Lily Winters with a rose and references their emotional New Year's Eve connection. Lily shuts him down immediately, calling the moment a lapse in judgment driven by nostalgia. She insists they do not belong together and reveals she is leaving Genoa City to visit their daughter Maddie Ashby to clear her head and put distance between herself and Cain. She admits she does not know how long she'll be gone. Later, Jack approaches Cain at the athletic club and offers him a significant amount of money in exchange for proof that Victor used the AI program against Arabesque. After some hesitation and persuasion, Cain hints that there may be a difficult and risky way to obtain that proof. Back at the Abbott mansion, Diane and Kyle discuss Jack's growing confidence in his strategy, sensing that major moves are coming soon. At Crimson Lights, Lily calls Devin Winters and asks him and Nate Hastings to meet with her for work updates before she leaves town. Alone, Lily reflects quietly on Cain's passionate New Year's Eve declaration, revealing that her feelings may not be as settled as she claims. Spoilers confirm that Cain and Lily's love story is not over and will continue later, with Lily's exit being temporary due to Crystal Khalil's maternity leave. The Young and the Restless, January 73 recap. Michael's twisted plan to frame Cain plus Lily leaves town to escape Cain. What happens when the person trying to save you decides the only way to do it is by destroying someone else? And what if I told you that Wednesday, January 7th, delivered one of the most morally complicated storylines this show has tackled in years? Because Michael Baldwin, the attorney we've always thought of as having some ethical boundaries, is proposing a plan so ruthless, so calculated that it makes him sound like exactly what Adam Newman accused him of being, someone operating like a mob boss. And while that's happening, we're watching Lily Winters literally flee Genoa City to escape Cain. Even as we can see, she's fighting feelings she doesn't want to admit she has. Let's break down everything that happened on Wednesday, because honestly, this episode was packed with developments that are going to have massive ripple effects. The Newman Ranch, Adam's warning, and Michael's shocking proposal. Michael Baldwin visits the Newman Ranch looking for Victor Newman, but encounters Adam Newman instead. And this encounter is going to set the tone for everything that follows, because Adam immediately goes on the offensive. Adam questions Michael's loyalty to Victor and the Newmans, which is a bold move considering Michael has been Victor's attorney and ally for years. Michael shows Adam the Roman coin Victor gave him. For those who don't remember, Victor gave Michael this coin as a symbol of their alliance, their mutual respect, their bond. It's supposed to represent that Michael is part of Victor's inner circle, that Victor trusts him completely. Michael is showing this coin as proof of his loyalty, as evidence that he's earned his place in Victor's world. But Adam remains unimpressed. Adam looks at that coin and sees it for what it really is, a manipulation tactic, a way Victor controls people by making them feel special and obligated. And Adam warns Michael that he'll crush Michael if he betrays the family. Unlike Victor's softer approach of gifts and gestures, Adam is being direct and threatening. Adam is making it clear that loyalty to the Newmans isn't optional, and betrayal comes with consequences that Adam will personally deliver. Michael accuses Adam of acting like a mob boss. And honestly, Adam kind of is. Adam is using intimidation and threats to ensure loyalty. Adam is positioning himself as the enforcer, the person who will do what needs to be done to protect the family regardless of ethics or legality. That's mob boss behavior, and Michael is calling it out. But here's the thing. By the end of this episode, Michael is going to propose something that makes him sound just as much like a mob boss as Adam. So, Michael's accusation is ironic in a way Michael doesn't realize yet. Adam and Michael's confrontation is interrupted when Nikki Newman returns. Nikki speaks privately with Michael, and this is where things get really interesting. Nikki and Michael confirm they're aligned in wanting to save Victor from himself without alienating him. Both of them love Victor in their own ways. Both of them are terrified that Victor is going to cross a line that destroys him, specifically that Victor is going to murder Matt Clark. So Nikki and Michael are conspiring together to figure out how to stop Victor from committing murder without Victor realizing what they're doing. That's an impossible task, but they're going to try anyway because the alternative, standing by and watching Victor become a killer, is unacceptable to both of them. And then Michael drops a bombshell. Michael proposes obtaining the AI program and framing Cain for its misuse, directing Victor's rage toward Cain instead of toward Matt or the Abbotts. Let that sink in for a second. Michael Baldwin, attorney at law, officer of the court, is suggesting that they frame an innocent person for a crime he didn't commit. Michael's justification is that Cain deserved it. Michael believes Cain is enough of a schemer, enough of a morally questionable character, that framing him isn't that terrible. Michael is rationalizing this plan by telling himself that Cain has done bad things in the past, so maybe Cain has this coming to him. But that's not how justice works. You can't frame someone for a crime they didn't commit just because you think they're generally a bad person who probably did other bad things. That's not ethical. That's not legal. That's not even morally defensible if you really think about it. Yet Nikki is intrigued. Nikki asks for more details. Nikki is not immediately shutting this plan down, not saying absolutely not. We can't do this. Nikki is actually considering framing Cain to redirect Victor's anger and save Victor from committing murder. Now, here's where everything changes for how we view Michael and Nikki as characters. Both of them are supposed to be fundamentally good people who occasionally make questionable choices. But this plan crosses a line that's hard to come back from. This isn't a gray area. This is black and white wrong. And the fact that both Michael and Nikki are seriously considering it tells you how desperate they are and how far they're willing to go. Think about what this plan would mean for Cain. Cain would be blamed for using the AI program to destroy Arabesque. Victor would come after Cain with everything he has. Cain's reputation would be destroyed. Cain might face criminal charges. Cain's relationship with Lily, which is already on life support, would be obliterated completely. Cain's life would be ruined to save Victor from himself. And the worst part, Cain wouldn't even know why it was happening. Cain would think he was being targeted because of something he actually did, not understanding that he's being set up by people who decided his life was an acceptable sacrifice to protect Victor. The Abbott Mansion. Billy's story and Jack's offer. At the Abbott Mansion, Diane Jenkins Abbott and Jack Abbott are arguing about Nikki before Kyle Abbott arrives with news from Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra. So, Jack and Diane are still fighting about Jack's loyalty to Nikki, about whether Nikki can be trusted, about whether Jack is being naive about the Newman-Abbott war. That conflict hasn't resolved at all. It's still simmering and creating tension in their marriage. Kyle interrupts with significant news. Billy has a story ready to publish implicating Newman Enterprises in illegal activities that caused Arabesque's collapse. So Billy, working as a journalist or publisher, has put together an expose that would seriously damage Victor's reputation and potentially create legal problems for Newman Enterprises. But Jack insists on waiting for solid proof. Jack doesn't want to publish the story based on circumstantial evidence or speculation. Jack wants concrete proof that will stand up to scrutiny that can't be dismissed or explained away by Victor's attorneys. And Jack says he has an idea for obtaining that proof. That idea involves Cain Ashp. Jack approaches Cain at the athletic club and offers a large sum of money for proof that Victor used the AI program against Arabesque. Jack is essentially hiring Cain to be his spy to obtain evidence that the Abbotts can use to take down Victor. After some persuasion, Cain hints at a difficult way to obtain such proof. Cain isn't immediately agreeing, but he's not saying no either. Cain is suggesting that he knows how to get what Jack wants, but it's going to be complicated, risky, or ethically questionable. That's what difficult probably means in this context. Not physically hard, but hard in the sense that it requires crossing lines. Back at the Abbott mansion, Diane and Kyle discuss Jack's confidence in his current strategy. Diane is probably skeptical that Cain can be trusted to deliver what Jack needs. Kyle might be more optimistic, especially if Kyle believes his own evidence about Victor using the AI program will be enough to force Victor's hand regardless of what Cain provides. But here's the irony. While Jack is trying to get Cain to help him obtain proof against Victor, Michael and Nikki are planning to frame Cain for the very crime Jack is trying to prove Victor committed. So Cain is being pulled in multiple directions by people who all have their own agendas. And Cain, vulnerable after Lily's rejection, is susceptible to manipulation from all sides. Lily's departure running from feelings. At the GCAC, Cain brings Lily Winters a rose and references their romantic New Year's Eve. Cain is trying to recapture that moment, trying to remind Lily of the connection they felt when they kissed at midnight. Cain sees that kiss as a sign that they belong together, that their love story isn't over. But Lily dismisses it as a moment of weakness and nostalgia. Lily is telling Cain that the kiss didn't mean what he thinks it meant. Lily insists it meant nothing and that they don't belong together. Lily is drawing a hard line, making it clear that whatever Cain is hoping for isn't going to happen. And then Lily drops the bombshell. She's leaving Genoa City to visit their daughter, Maddie Ashby. Lily frames it as needing to clear her head, but the real reason is to get away from Cain. Lily doesn't know how long she'll be gone, which tells you this isn't just a quick trip. Lily is removing herself from the situation entirely because she doesn't trust herself to maintain boundaries with Cain if she stays at Crimson Lights. Later, Lily calls Devin Winters and asks him to meet with her and Nate Hastings to provide work updates before her departure. So, Lily is getting her professional affairs in order before leaving. Lily is making sure her responsibilities are covered. Lily is doing everything properly and by the book, but then Lily reflects pensively on Cain's passionate New Year's Eve speech. And this is where we see the truth. Lily does have feelings for Cain. Lily is fighting those feelings because she's scared of getting hurt again, scared of falling back into old patterns, scared of making the same mistakes. But the feelings are there, no matter how hard Lily tries to deny them. The spoilers note that Cain and Lily will have another chapter in their love story later, so this isn't the end for them. But Lily's exit is temporary, due to actress Crystal Khalil's maternity leave. So, the show is writing Lily out for a while in a way that keeps the door open for her return and for the Cain-Lily story to continue eventually. But in the meantime, Lily is gone. Lily has literally fled town to escape dealing with Cain and her feelings. And Cain is left behind, heartbroken, vulnerable, and susceptible to manipulation by people like Phyllis, Jack, and potentially others. Connecting the storylines, the frame-up, and its implications. Now, let's think about how all of these storylines connect and what they mean for the characters involved. Michael and Nikki are planning to frame Cain for misusing the AI program. Jack is trying to hire Cain to obtain proof that Victor misused the AI program. And Lily has just fled town, leaving Cain emotionally devastated and vulnerable. If Michael and Nikki's plan works if they successfully frame Cain, then Cain is going to be accused of the very crime Jack is paying him to prove Victor committed. Think about the irony of that. Cain is working with Jack to expose Victor, but Cain is being set up by Michael and Nikki to take the fall for what Victor did. When the frame-up happens, when evidence emerges that supposedly shows Cain misused the AI program, Jack is going to be blindsided. Jack trusted Cain to help him. Jack paid Cain. Jack potentially compromised himself legally by hiring Cain to obtain evidence through questionable means. And now Jack is going to discover that Cain was apparently the guilty party all along. Jack is going to feel betrayed and foolish. Jack is going to question his own judgment, and Diane is going to have every right to say, "I told you we couldn't trust Cain or anyone connected to Phyllis." But the real victim here is Cain. Cain is being used by Jack, potentially manipulated by Phyllis, as we know from other spoilers, and framed by Michael and Nikki. Cain is at the center of multiple schemes, and he doesn't even realize the danger he's in. When Lily returns to Genoa City eventually, when she finds out what happened to Cain, Lily is going to have complicated feelings. Part of Lily will probably think, "I knew getting involved with him again was a mistake." But another part of Lily is going to wonder if Cain really did what he's accused of or if something else is going on. And if Lily ever discovers that Cain was framed, if the truth comes out that Michael and Nikki set him up, Lily is going to be furious. Lily knows Michael. Lily might not be close to Nikki, but she knows the Newmans. And learning that they destroyed Cain's life to protect Victor is going to create a whole new layer of Newman Winters family conflict. Now, let's think about this from Victor's perspective. Assuming Victor doesn't know about Michael and Nikki's plan, Victor is going to believe that Cain stole his AI program and used it to destroy Arabesque. Victor's going to be absolutely enraged. Victor is going to come after Cain with everything he has. Legal action, business retaliation, potentially even physical violence. And Michael and Nikki are counting on that. They're deliberately redirecting Victor's rage toward Cain instead of toward Matt Clark or the Abbotts. They're sacrificing Cain to save Victor from himself and to protect the people Michael and Nikki actually care about. But here's the question. Can Michael and Nikki really control Victor's response? When Victor gets angry, when Victor goes into attack mode, can Michael and Nikki ensure that Victor stops at legal or business retaliation? Or is there a risk that Victor's rage at Cain spirals into violence that Michael and Nikki didn't intend? If Victor hurts Cain, if Victor does something criminal in his pursuit of revenge against Cain, then Michael and Nikki's plan to save Victor from himself will have failed spectacularly. They'll have redirected Victor's violence from one target to another, but they won't have prevented Victor from crossing lines that can't be uncrossed. Adam's role and Michael's hypocrisy. Let's go back to Adam for a moment. Adam warned Michael that he would crush Michael if Michael betrayed the family. Adam was being a mob boss, using intimidation to ensure loyalty. Michael called him out on it. But Michael's plan to frame Cain is exactly the kind of ruthless ends justify the means thinking that mob bosses employ. Michael is willing to destroy an innocent person to protect someone he cares about. That's not being an ethical attorney. That's being exactly what Michael accused Adam of being. So, when Adam eventually finds out about Michael's plan, and Adam will find out eventually because Adam is perceptive and suspicious, Adam is going to throw Michael's accusation back in his face. Adam is going to say, "You called me a mob boss, but you're the one framing innocent people. At least I'm honest about what I am." And Adam would be right. Adam doesn't pretend to be something he's not. Adam operates in moral gray areas and owns it. Michael, on the other hand, is a respected attorney who's supposed to uphold the law, and he's planning to commit multiple crimes, including conspiracy and fraud to frame someone. That hypocrisy is going to be exposed eventually. And when it is, Michael's reputation is going to take a massive hit. People who trusted Michael, people who believed Michael had ethical boundaries, are going to question everything they thought they knew about him. Diane and Jack's marriage under strain. The ongoing argument between Diane and Jack about Nikki is revealing deeper issues in their marriage. Diane feels like Jack doesn't listen to her concerns. Diane feels like Jack is putting his loyalty to Nikki above his loyalty to his own wife. And Diane is frustrated that Jack keeps making excuses for Nikki's choices when it's obvious to Diane that Nikki has chosen Victor completely. Jack's confidence in his current strategy. Hiring Cain to get proof against Victor is exactly the kind of thing that makes Diane nervous. Diane doesn't trust Cain. Diane doesn't trust that this plan is going to work the way Jack thinks it will. And Diane is probably worried that Jack is walking into a trap. And you know what? Diane's instincts are right. Jack is walking into a trap, just not the one Diane thinks. The trap isn't that Cain is going to betray Jack to Victor. The trap is that Cain is being set up by Michael and Nikki. And when that becomes public, Jack's association with Cain is going to make Jack look bad. Kyle is caught in the middle of his parents' conflict. Kyle wants to support his father's strategy, but Kyle also sees his mother's point that they need to be careful about who they trust. Kyle is trying to navigate between his parents' perspectives while also managing his own evidence about Victor's AI program use. The Abbott family is under enormous stress right now. They're fighting a war with the Newmans. They're dealing with internal disagreements about strategy and trust. And they're all making decisions that have potential to blow up in their faces if things don't go according to plan. Lily's internal conflict. Lily's decision to leave town reveals so much about her internal struggle. Lily knows she has feelings for Cain. That pensive reflection on his New Year's Eve speech shows that Lily is thinking about what Cain said, that his words are staying with her, that she can't just dismiss him as easily as she's pretending to. But Lily is also scared. Lily has been hurt by Cain before. Lily has watched Cain make bad decisions and get involved with the wrong people. Lily knows that Cain has the capacity to disappoint her and break her heart. So Lily is protecting herself by leaving before she can get in any deeper. That protection makes sense rationally, but emotionally. Emotionally, Lily is running from something real. Lily felt that connection when they kissed. Lily felt something when Cain gave her that rose and referenced their romantic moment. And by running from it, Lily is possibly throwing away a chance at something meaningful. The tragedy is that while Lily is gone, Cain is going to make the exact mistakes Lily feared he would make. Cain is going to get involved with Phyllis. Cain is going to participate in schemes with Jack. Cain is going to become the person Lily was afraid he still was. So, when Lily comes back and sees what Cain has done in her absence, Lily is going to feel vindicated in her decision to leave. But Lily won't know that if she had stayed, if she had given Cain a chance, maybe Cain wouldn't have been so vulnerable to manipulation. Maybe Cain would have had a reason to be better instead of defaulting to his worst instincts. That's not Lily's responsibility. Cain's choices are his own. But it's still tragic that Lily's self-pity protection ends up becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. The bigger picture, morality, and consequences. Wednesday's episode is really about how far people will go to protect the people they love. Michael is willing to frame an innocent person to save Victor from becoming a murderer. Nikki is willing to go along with that plan for the same reason. Jack is willing to hire someone through questionable means to get evidence against Victor. Cain is willing to consider doing something difficult to earn money and maybe win Lily back. Everyone is compromising their ethics and values because they think the ends justify the means. Everyone thinks their situation is special, that their reasons are good enough to excuse bad behavior. But those compromises are going to have consequences that nobody has fully thought through. When Michael and Nikki's frame-up of Cain is exposed, and it will be exposed eventually because these things always come out, both of them are going to face serious consequences. Michael could be disbarred. Nikki could face criminal charges. Their reputations will be destroyed. And Victor, the person they were trying to protect, might never forgive them for going behind his back and making him look like a fool who was manipulated by his own wife and attorney. When Jack's hiring of Cain becomes public knowledge, when people realize Jack was willing to pay someone to obtain evidence through potentially illegal means, Jack's reputation for integrity is going to take a hit. The Abbotts have always positioned themselves as more ethical than the Newmans, but this situation is going to make them look just as willing to break rules when it serves their interests. And Cain is going to be destroyed by all of this. Cain is already heartbroken over Lily leaving. Now Cain is going to be framed for a crime he didn't commit, blamed by Victor, potentially facing legal consequences, and his reputation ruined. When the truth eventually comes out, when people realize Cain was framed, some people will feel bad for him. But the damage will already be done. Looking forward, the inevitable explosion. Everything that happened on Wednesday is setting up dominoes that are going to fall in spectacular fashion. Michael and Nikki's plan to frame Cain is going to intersect with Jack's plan to hire Cain. Cain's involvement with multiple schemes is going to make him look guilty of everything even though he's actually guilty of nothing. Victor is going to be manipulated by people who claim to love him. Adam is going to be proven right about Michael being untrustworthy. Lily is going to be vindicated and heartbroken when she hears what happened to Cain. And the entire social structure of Genoa City is going to be shaken when all these secrets are exposed. The question isn't whether this is all going to blow up. The question is when and how much damage it's going to cause when it does. So, here's what we need to be watching for moving forward. Does Michael actually go through with framing Cain, or does he reconsider when he has time to think about the ethics of what he's planning? Does Nikki support Michael's plan all the way, or does she back out at the last minute? Does Jack figure out that something is wrong with his Cain strategy before it's too late? And does Cain realize the danger he's in before he becomes a victim of multiple people's schemes? What do you think about Michael's plan to frame Cain? Is it understandable given that he's trying to save Victor from committing murder, or is it completely indefensible? Do you think Lily made the right choice by leaving town, or should she have stayed and given Cain a real chance? And be honest, if you were in Michael's position trying to save someone you care about from destroying themselves, would you consider framing an innocent person to redirect their rage? Drop your thoughts in the comments because Wednesday's episode revealed some of the darkest choices these characters have made, and people are going to have strong opinions about the ethics of what Michael and Nikki are planning. If you want to stay updated on how this frame-up plot unfolds and whether Michael actually goes through with it, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell. And if you're interested in deep dives on character morality or analysis of the Newman Abbott War, check out the video popping up on your screen right now. Wednesday, January 7th was the day Michael Baldwin crossed a line he might not be able to come back from, and the consequences are going to ripple through Genoa City for months. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.